So today's topic is very special to me. Like, okay, then let's start off with a question. Like, how many of you have female leaders within your workplace, or like had? Like, raise your hands if you want. Okay, that's nice. You want to name them?
Yeah, for you, it's us. For us, it's Shagun.
Okay, and anyone else?
For me, our team lead Pratibha and even our micro lead Sanjeevni.
Okay, like even I want to go. Like my first team lead, Paridhi. Really enjoyed working with her. Like, I'm sorry, Raghuveer, I enjoy working with you, but Paridhi, you have my heart. Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, so at start, Pariti was the leader and then Sanjeev.
Okay.
Yeah, I would also want to mention Shagun, Artuha. There was Mitali. When I first joined, Mitali was my first team leader, and she practically introduced the entire ecosystem to me. So,
Nice. Okay, like, does anyone know why I'm asking this question? Like, specifically female leaders. Why?
Is it because Women's Day now?
Right. Nice, no? Something to celebrate. Yeah, so we have International Women's Day coming up. So I thought let's take inspiration from, like, women CEOs and stuff. So, okay. Tell me one thing. You guys know about PepsiCo, Nykaa. Like, okay, wait, who doesn't know about Nykaa, right? And then Biocon. Everyone knows about them. Like, you know who is the former CEO of PepsiCo? It is Indra Nui. Like, she didn't just follow trends, she anticipated them. She knew consumer health trends were changing. So she pushed PepsiCo, towards healthier product before it became a necessity. Okay, now what inspiration do we get from this? Does anyone want to tell?
I think women can bring completely different perspectives. I think the way Indra Nooyi led PepsiCo is very different from her predecessors, right? She brought in design thinking, she brought in this health focus, and she took some very hard decisions in her life. I mean, if you were to go through her interviews, you'll see that the way, I mean, I don't think a male CEO would have thought in that manner. So women bring a completely different value to the table.
Right. Leaders must plan and adapt fast. Like what trends are shaping our industry? Is my team prepared for the next shift? That is that is how a leader thinks. Then Nykaa, Falguni Nair, she is like the founder and CEO of Nykaa. She didn't just launch a beauty brand. She changed how Indian shops, beauty by combining online and offline retail. Innovation isn't just about getting new ideas. It's a leader should know how to make an idea and how to implement it. Implement is like the main part. Then we have like Kiran Mazumdar Shaw. She's the founder and former CEO of Biocon. It's a giant in pharmaceutical industry, right? Making medicines worldwide. Her beginning, banks refused her to give loans. It was that was her state, but she did not give up. Like every leader, like every single leader faces obstacles. The question is, do we let them stop us or do we find a way forward, right? Now, these are leaders which we know. They are known globally. But let's not forget about the leaders like the women CEOs who are near us. Like, suppose, 3 years back when I came to India, right? I had this woman who owned a small stall. Okay, she used to sell idlis on that. Now, 2 years back, I came to India. Now she has this stall and she has a few chairs and tables around it. Like, you see the upgrade she has done. She updated her menu. And now, and I'm kind of curious. Now, this time I go to India, I want to see how it has changed. What if he has a small restaurant now? You see how things change. How these leaders have all succeeded in high pressure environments. They had to balance multiple priorities, like while all making tough decisions. But then they did it right. So like yeah. So this brings us to a key discussion point. The question for discussion today is: in high pressure environments, balancing strategy, execution, innovation, and accountability requires clear priorities. What frameworks or real world examples illustrate successful navigation of these challenges? I'll put the question in chat. Please go through them.
Okay, what's the topic of this Saturday Socratic dialogue?
CEO's responsibilities.
Okay. Just to add a little context to the question. So if you're running an organization or even if you're running a business unit, right, within an organization, you're responsible for innovation to drive new things, but you're also responsible for execution. You're responsible for the strategy. And I mean, there are multiple things which are going on in parallel, right? Being able to innovate, being able to execute, being able to drive the strategy. So, what are the frameworks that you've used so far and how have they helped, right? This is what the topic is for LDI. Whoever wants to pitch, please raise your hands. On that note, over to you, Simran, for the first pitch of the day.
So yeah, as mentioned, we have to talk about any one of the framework, right? So I just learned about the framework called as Agile methodology, which help by breaking work into small, manageable steps, allowing us rapid adjustment and continuous improvement. Like for example, if I give you like the companies like Tesla, Spotify use Agile to stay innovative and respond to market needs.
So, how are you using it, Simran? I mean, your pitch could be less theoretical and more about what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Simran. Over to you, Paridhi.
Right. So I don't have a specific framework, but one thing that has worked really well for me across teams and projects is basing everything around the people in my team, the people I'm working with. So understanding their strengths, understanding how to communicate the goal or the project to them as best as possible, and ensuring that things are delegated properly, and ensuring that where needed, the people in my team, I'm able to be available to them wherever needed. That is something that has worked well for me across projects, across teams. So I would be talking about that, and then in detail we can go over the nuances of it in terms of how do you decide what to delegate and how do you decide how to, make sure it gets executed.
Yeah. Thank you, Paridhi. I think what you're saying is in lines with Jack Welch. He says that the CEO is the chief meaning officer. So you're trying to get all your teams to see the meaning of the work in a style that suits them. Did I understand that correctly? Because every person needs a different communication style, and as a leader, you communicate in a way that they prefer
Yeah, I
and
try
be
to.
available to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, leaders, that sense of feeling of availability, I think very few, tend to create it. So, yeah, I think that there's a lot of depth there. I'm sure there'll be a nice conversation in your breakout room. Over to you, Anay.
Thank you, Tarun. So my pitch will be revolving around the same thing which Faida uh, mentioned. That in high pressure environment, teams often get stuck in that firefighting mode, focusing on the execution while ignoring the strategy and innovation. So what should we focus more on? Is it just the strategy or execution, or we should think innovatively and take some accountability? I will share my references which I'm working with Escape Velocity. If you are interested, please join my room.
Okay. Thank you, Anay. Anay is one of the youngest technical program managers at Deep Thought, leading two projects for Escape Velocity. I'm sure there could be a wealth of wisdom there. Uh, yeah, because he's got some heavy feedback last week. I'm sure there's a lot of reflection and wisdom from there. Yeah. Over to you, Ranganath.
I mean, 4 years and four different experiences is what I'm going to talk about if you guys join in my breakout room. From being an intern for 12 weeks in Deep Thought 4 years ago to being a chief of staff in one of a pharma startup to leading an incubation center to now systems building. The core strengths or something that I want to give to other people is having focus and empathy. Different stakeholders have always different things. The higher management has a longer vision versus the execution team wants it in smaller chunks, which I would try to imbibe in today's talk if with through the experiences I've had.
Absolutely. Empathy, right? I mean, easier said than done, right, Ranganath? So I'm sure there could be a lot of practical experiences coming in there, especially your Tinnara Baunnara technique. So, I mean, there are a lot of people who complain that, these guys are not listening to me. They're not accepting my systems. They're not accepting my ideas. Ranganath has a very simple formula where he doesn't start his project. He'll first go talk to them. He'll ask, "Did you eat tinnara?" in Telugu. Then he'll ask, "Are you okay? I mean, how are you feeling? Bhavanara." He does this for 1 month, builds rapport, and from second month he starts his project. Am I right, Ranganath? And that's how he's got acceptance for a lot of his ideas in an otherwise very challenging space. So I'm sure there's a wealth of learning through these experiences if you were to go to Ranganath's breakout room. Over to you, Mr. Dinesh Kumar.
So hello guys. Uh, about the CEO responsibilities, I would like to introduce one Japanese proverb. Like it says that strategy without execution is a daydream, and execution without strategy is a nightmare. So it tells a lot about the balance between strategy and execution,
So how are
which
you doing
should be
it?
followed by a
So how
CEO.
are you doing it in Unique?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, in Unique Biotech, when I'm doing the projects, when I'm being assigned projects, uh, I'm lacking either the planning, I'm directly going into execution. So these are the mistakes I will be talking about in my breakout room that you shouldn't do it in this. So yeah, if you want to know more about it, join me.
Okay. So Dinesh says either he plans and doesn't execute properly or doesn't plan and executes. So how not to make that mistake and what is that balance is what I think the learning could be in Dinesh's breakout room. So now over to you, Priyanshu.
So my pitch would be around how in a pressured environment, high pressure environment, a leader can make their team work. Because a lot of time different conflicts and different problems came up in the team. So how a leader can solve it in the high pressure environment. My pitch would be around that.
Okay. So in high pressure environment, how do you lead is what Priyanshu is talking about. Over to you, Shivam Swankar.
Yeah, I would like to talk about like how you should lead a team when you are in a high pressure environment. So there is a proverb that says like
Shivam, I think we all have access to internet and proverbs, but if you can relate something to your experience, that would be more fantastic. Yeah. Whatever you're working on currently. Yeah.
we are working on like creating case studies for Unique Biotech as well as Vishkarma and other companies who are in associated with Deep Thought. So right now we are like interviewing people and then getting the information transcribed and then forming the case studies and then reviewing it. So ultimately the thing is that if you must plan your work and then work your plan. So first we should plan the work and then work out the plan. And whenever you have success, try to give credit to your team members more often than you
Shivam,
give.
30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
that
your
would
first
be it.
LDI pitch.
Yes, this is my first
Okay.
LDI pitch.
Awesome. Can you all join me in celebrating Shivam's first LDI pitch? Super. So if you join Shivam's breakout room, he'll tell you how he's making these case studies and how he's executing it in a planned manner.
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Now over to you, Darshana.
Yeah, so previously I was struggling, like I was getting overwhelmed by a task. Lot of tasks, I have to schedule workshops, I have to work on the UI, this, that, and all the tasks coming up. So to execute it properly, now I'm doing it very smoothly. Every execution is getting properly. For that, I use this 4 thing. It's like my personal system where first is Eisenhower matrix, second is communication for clarity, third is feedback, and fourth is implementation. So this is my personal thing. You want to know about it and how I improve my task execution, you can join my room.
Awesome. So you're now a thought leader. You've come up with your own framework for others to use. Awesome. Can you all join me in celebrating Darshana's framework? So she's synthesized her own framework. Awesome. Well done, Darshana. Now over to you, Ovi.
Okay, so similar to Darshana, I have a framework, although unfortunately I didn't make it. It's a framework, a cognitive framework developed by Fred Luthens, which relates to increasing efficiency in your system in the workplace. And it's been something that I've applied throughout my time here at Deep Thought. It's called the HERO framework. And if you want to know what that acronym means, you have to join my room and find out. But it's with these 4 letters or these 4 concepts that I've been able to galvanize myself as someone who works efficiently in my system. So if you'd like to learn more about that, please join my breakout room.
Okay. Thank you, Ovi. Now, over to you, Sanjeevni.
Okay, so in my time here at Deep Thought or anywhere else when I'm in a leadership position, there are two main things that I focus on that are collective intelligence and shared leadership. I never believe that I am a leader. I believe the entire team is the leader. So I always take input from each and everyone. So including that, and there's another 20% policy that I use while coming up with decisions. So if you want to know more about that, you can join my breakout room.
Okay. Shared leadership and collective leadership, collective intelligence and shared
Collective
leadership. That's
intelligence.
a interesting mix, Sanjeevni. Over to you, Megha.
So, in few days, like I have come up with too many projects, and along with being the team lead, it's my new experience. So, the in a environment of chaos, it's the main thing. Those matters are firstly being available to the team members. It matters. Secondly, it's the discussion. Rigorous discussion should be there once in a day or more often. It should be more often so that you can get the ideas. Like as Sanjeevni said, I don't consider myself as a leader, but I should be like, okay, you say, like present your ideas. It will be collaborated, and then a new idea will be coming up. And in my breakout room, I'll be talking about all those.
Okay. Thank you, Megha. Over to you, Satvik.
Yeah, so my pitch will basically revolve around that, juggling of multiple things. So as a project manager, in Feb we completed 5 projects, and in March you are planning to complete around 8 projects. So every other day, Tarun or Shagun just comes and drops a new project. So I have to maintain the initial cycle and as well as complete the high priority task also. So, I got well versed with that things. So for that, I made basically 4 buckets for myself, like high priority, low priority, and dependent on me, the task, and not dependent on me. So on that basis, I decide, we proceed कैसे करना है आगे. So yeah, how to handle that cycles. I can in my breakout room we'll discuss that.
I really like the way you took your revenge.
No, not.
Just kidding. Over to you, Vajra. Yeah.
Yeah, so the deep thought is providing me the leadership qualities, and also in my breakout room, I'll be talking about how to adapt to the team changes and how to deal with the pressures of it, and also about cross-functional mindset that when we are executing a project or process about or a task, where we have to not directly look at the results, but also evaluate the cause of it and why we are doing it, and also
Any specific project that you're going to discuss for to explain all these ideas?
yeah, I'll be talking about the milestone I've been working on. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Vajra. Over to you, Faiza.
Yeah, so I became a micro lead like 2 3 days ago, 3rd March. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about in my breakout room that how suddenly I got so many responsibilities, all the challenges, and how I tackled those. Something like that. Like I had 2 more people under me now. Okay, everything about that in my breakout room.
Okay. And Faiza, let's drop the word under. We at Deep Thought we work with people, right? So that's how we believe.
With me, right, with me.
Awesome. Over to you, Maryada.
So in the CRM lab, we are working on the call structure that would bring the business owners into a growth introspection study, which is essential in getting them have a clearer picture in growth bottlenecks. So this process is has to be very adaptable because calling the business owner and then adapting the call structure according by having an altruistic approach to it. So I'll be talking about how I'm applying the agility framework in this communication that would help convey the value of the study to the business owners.
Okay. How do you communicate in a dynamic manner? How do you have a framework that is dynamic so that it can adapt, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's interesting. Thank you, Maryada. Over to you, Nikhil.
So currently, I'm working as a part of two different teams in Escape Velocity. One is the data analytics and reporting team, and the other is the operations team. So in my room, I wish to find a solution to one problem that I have, and that is my way of solving problems is that take one problem, solve it completely, then move to the next one. So sometimes what happens is some tasks get skipped or maybe delayed a little. I wouldn't say it's skipped altogether, but delayed a little. So how do you deal with that as a leader?
Okay. How do you run your trains on time? Interesting. Thank you, Nikhil. Over to you, Roshni.
Okay, so as we all work on multiple projects and they also occur at the same time. So in such a scenario, task breakdown and reporting relationship plays an important role. So the milestones or the planning strategy which I follow, I would be talking about that. And to follow this, I would also talk about various frameworks that could be used so that we can have a quality as well as move towards the priority task first without not skipping the cyclic task as well. And to support this, we can also talk about 7Cs AC, urgent and important framework models.
Okay, so you're talking about prioritization, right? Some ways to prioritize tasks. So you
As
could
well as managing the cyclic task.
Okay. Thank you, Roshni. Over to you, Shagun.
Yeah, hi everyone. We'll be having a discussion about value proposition canvas. So any product or any service or even any task that you are working on, it is positioned around the customer or the people for you whom you are working on. So that's what we are going to discuss, that customer value and need and how you will center your task or projects in that. And to do that, we'll use this value proposition canvas framework.
Absolutely. So whenever you're doing any project, it's important to know how is it valuable for the person who's using it, right? I mean, is it a diamond for the user? So how do you understand the value proposition of the project that you're working on? I think that's what Shagun hopes to explain, and I hope that could be a great learning for everyone. Now over to you, Disha, for your pitch.
Okay, so like my pitch will be like I wanted to share that like I have a very like great passion to like in the long term I have a like vision to create my own business like which can like create a kind of big impact to the people to the world. And also I have very great passion to in a psychology concept of it. So like I kind of like wanted to interlink these of both of the fields and wanted to implement in my long term vision. And currently as I'm also with my this internship with a deep thought, I'm also like doing other jobs also to make myself self independent. And also the one more thing like I wanted to share that like in that kind of process you became a kind of resilience. And also like I wanted to share in my pitch that like how like you can start with a kind of purpose in your business, or not only in that but only in any of the field. And other than that like how can you build a kind of self discipline habits for yourself to make yourself more
Any
productive.
particular project you're going to talk about, Disha?
uh, Tarun, can you please repeat?
Because the LDI theme was about pitching one of the projects that you're working on and what framework you're using in one of the projects that you're working on.
Okay, so as like I have shared like in a deep thought when I joined, like I have like it gave me the kind of vision to like take the
So, can you just tell
baby
what is the
step.
project? What is the project you'd be talking about, and what's the framework you'll be talking about?
Okay, so the project I'm going to talk about is like about the like whole the transition in my whole of the like projects which I have been in all the
Okay,
all those like
got it.
weeks, all those far. So I wanted to share my those like learnings in my pitch.
Okay, thank you, Disha. Over to you, Artuha.
Hi everyone. So one thing that comes with balancing strategy and execution is a lot of planning. Even in my project at Unique Batic, we did a lot of planning. For at least 2 months, we planned of what is going to happen. But to put into perspective, the one thing that matters is what is the first step you take towards execution. So one thing that we would explore today to put into perspective of the movie that we watched on Saturday. What is the one small but impactful step you take towards execution and get the execution rolling for your team? No more, join my room.
Okay. Thank you, Artuha. Over to you, Samitra.
I'll take few more seconds than 30 seconds. Uh, Again, the whole MR team works with Shagun as the manager, so the whole team knows about the value proposition. But personally, the framework I use is haha framework. So you wouldn't be knowing it because it's not written somewhere. So the H stands for humor, A stands for accountability, the other H for honest feedback, and then the last A for adaptability that the feedback was on. So again, the haha means your humor sound. So the whole team laughs it, accepts it, and works towards it. And also, I'll be talking about some more psychological impacts of using humor as a leader or as a team leader. So people interested can join, and obviously, so please do join. Yeah.
Okay. LDI is incomplete without Saumitra's pitch. And I think now everybody agrees with me on that. This was possibly the best framework we've heard today. Wonderful, Saumitra. Looking forward to hearing your framework. So we are opening the breakout rooms and people can feel free to explore the pitches that you found interesting.